Hello guys, me again, Ryan JC, and today what I want to be talking about is the topic of life purpose. Okay? How to find your life purpose. I don't really like that word though. Let's go with how to rediscover your life purpose. Okay, it actually makes more sense if you put it that way. Because all of us, at one point or another within our lives, have actually already exercised our life purpose. Okay? And that's going to become very clear later on in this video. When it comes to life purpose, we all want to know what it is, okay? Mainly because of what it's going to give us. Let's be honest here, let's be frank. Okay, if you're living your life purpose, what do you think? You think that things are going to get easy, right? And it's true. Life gets easy, but the amount of work you put into your life becomes harder. There are so many things I can say on this topic. Your dreams are your wants and needs. I've said this before in my YouTube videos. They're your wants and needs which you haven't actually acted upon. They're your ideas of what you want to be when you grow up, when you get older, right? And when you don't act on those ideas, you go to sleep. But then as you're dreaming, those ideas manifest within your dream state. How do we get you living your dreams, living your life purpose? Okay, well, I'm going to tell you what I did. First, I recognized some things within my life which shifted how I perceive my life purpose, or life in general, even that word purpose. Let's think about it in relation to the word life, what it means to have a life, right? If you live to be 80 years old, that's considered as a long life. My parents, my mum's mum and my mum's dad, my dad's mum, all had jobs which took up their entire lifespan. When it comes to our generation and the generation before us, we're actually having more jobs, which are spanning throughout our lifespan. Why am I talking about this? Well, when I was in school, I remember adults asking me what I want to be when I get older. And because of that, I would think of the big things. Astronaut came to mind straight away. But then air pilot, because I always wanted to fly. And then they threw at me the president. Can you imagine me, the president? They threw at me other things dealing with, big roles in society. But then as I got older, the suggestions became, crappy. Manager fell to retail assistant, sales assistant. And that was mainly because they saw that as I was getting older, I wasn't developing my skill set. Therefore, they had a very low opinion of me when it comes to how capable I am of actually achieving anything in life. Which is kind of ridiculous because, that really did happen and stopped when I left school. And I left school at around about the age of 16. Then I went into college. So from their perspective, it would take you about 16 years to build up all the skills necessary in order to become something of value when it comes to your life. Okay, keyword here, life. But all the successful people, including myself, we became successful after we left college, after we left school, after we left university. I always thought about that point, that obviousness. That when people said to me, what about your career choice? What's the job you see yourself doing for your entire life? That scared me. And it probably scared a lot of you too, because that does not sound natural to me, okay? You see, adults, because they perceive a purpose with a job, and they're always, told what to do within their life, how to act, how to behave within a job, what jobs to go for even, whether that be peer pressure from their parents. Maybe their parents are paramedics, or maybe they're doctors, or maybe they're in some sort of political position in life. Then they'll look at their kin and they would say, grow up big and strong, learn as much as you can, and then you can get where I'm at right now, today. You can become me, pretty much. You can, sit in my place and wear my shoes. But not everyone wants to do that. But then we're known as the cycle breakers, which is a really cool term, by the way. You should wear that on a t-shirt. Wear it proud. You're a cycle breaker. If you don't want to be like your parents, you don't want to be like your brothers or sisters, you don't want to have the same things that they had, then you're a cycle breaker. Especially if you don't want to have what society has. You're a cycle breaker. It's done like that for a purpose. If you're a cycle breaker, you're most likely a starseed or an indigo or something else that has nothing to do with how this world is already built. Because you want to bring in something new, right? And that's your purpose, perhaps? Let's get more into that. So let's look at the word purpose for a sec, okay? That little word purpose means so much. Okay, life purpose. Everyone has this perception, this one-dimensional perception, where they think that the word purpose only means one thing, or it only has to deal with one thing throughout your entire life. Life purpose. Life? One thing purpose, right? Pretty basic. No. Think about it this way. Let's say there's a team of footballers, right? Choose football. If you're not into football, I'm sorry, but this is going to make a lot of sense in a second. So let's say if there's a team of footballers and they bring on board a new player. Everyone already has a purpose. Maybe somebody's in goal, maybe somebody's, what's the terminology? They're like closest to the goal, defense, offense, and all that jazz, right? So everyone on the team already has a purpose, but that new player doesn't. How do you think that new player is going to feel? They're going to feel the lack of contribution. Okay, key word there, contribution. They're going to feel the lack of, well, relevance. Why am I here? What's the point in even playing this game if I haven't got anything to offer? If I can't even make their team better, what is the point? You see, that player has no purpose. So when you think about it like that, purpose really means contribution. It doesn't mean, what am I going to do to serve me? It means, what am I going to do to serve others, the world? Basically, how are you going to impact life, make a dent in history? Yeah? So when you think about it like that, and then you go back to the beginning of your life, you may have realized how you've already impacted the lives of others, the people who you've met, whether that be people for the first time, your friends, kindergarten friends, how you impacted your mother and father's lives, your brothers, your sisters, your cousins, your aunts, your neighbors, strangers on the street, When you think about your role within those interactions, maybe you was an obstacle for them to overcome. Maybe your ego was off. Maybe you were so influenced by society that you became a bad guy temporarily, in order to block somebody from doing something they wanted, which gave them the opportunity to become better, to become stronger, to get over you, and to really ground themselves into knowing who they are and saying, you know what, you're wrong. I'm capable. And you're in my way. Get out the way. That's just one purpose that you could have had throughout your life. Or maybe you were there to pick someone up. Maybe you were there just to hold someone else's groceries or to carry an old lady across the street. You had an impact on somebody. So for that moment of time, you had a purpose. And that's why it felt so good. Especially when you gave advice to your friends. If you've done that already, I'm just going to assume that everyone has, because it's in our nature to help other people. Here's how you're going to find your life purpose. Your main life purpose, okay? Because you've had all these little ones, but that main one is something else. So let's look at all the little ones. This is what you do. You think about your role here on Earth as it is so far today. Are you a villain, a bad guy, or are you a hero? Okay, let's split it up into those two categories. If you were to sum up the impact you've had on people, whether that be the words you've said or the actions you've taken, would you say you've become more of an obstacle in life for people to overcome? Or would you say you've become more of a crutch? That being that helps others. When you think of it like that, you'll realize what your purposes have been so far. That way you can better determine what your main purpose is going to be. Now here's the thing. Whether you're a villain or a hero, you're doing one thing right. And that is you are helping somebody. That being said, if you look at your main life purpose, if you look way into the future, or if you look into tomorrow if you want to start that early, okay, that life purpose will have to do with helping somebody or a group of people, or generally just help. I would put that emotional intent down to drive, okay? That is somebody who really wants to make a change in the world, but they don't know how. It's the first thing, it's drive. Next, you want to look at how you've been practicing your skills during those moments where you've been trying to help people, or where you've been trying to bring out in somebody a higher frequency of happiness or love or joy or ease. Okay? Some people do it through art. They will paint images, mix colors together in order to gauge an emotional response from the public. Some people do lectures. They talk about their own stories of hardships and how they overcame it so that they can relate with others, giving them that hope that they can also overcome their hardships, their traumas, their issues in life. Okay? A lot of people, at the beginning of their lives, when they are children, they do things that occupy their time, not because they're getting paid for it. No, they sit there in school and they just do what feels right. Perhaps they'll give a cookie to their friend because they're missing a cookie. Perhaps they'll give a hug to somebody who's down. Maybe they'll just feel drawn to giving somebody more company, more affection, because they see that they're alone and they're a little upset. During life, during these earlier stages of life, when nobody's thinking about money, because money really is just a distraction from them really accessing who they actually are and developing certain skills. When they're not thinking about money, they're actually playing with life, the form of life. They're playing with communication. They're playing with their body. They're playing with art. They're playing with the material world itself in order to create something. So when we're kids, we play with the world to use the world as a tool. And as we're playing with the world, we create skills. And with these skills, we communicate better to others in order to help them out. So to you, I invite you to your past. Think about all of the things you used to do which you put down, and then pick them back up again. Even if you're wondering, okay, well, I can't do that again. I can't start music up again. I only got so far, then I stopped because I didn't feel like I was getting anywhere. It made me feel good sometimes, but everyone else used to judge me. You need to get over those blockages, those anxieties, so you can pick up those skills once again. Okay? See your drive in the talent you're doing. See how it's going to affect others. And then pick up the skill again. And don't think about how it's going to support you in life, because let me tell you something. Once you start tuning in to the natural vibration of yourself, everything else will fall into place. People will show up at the right time. They'll lend you donations at the right time. Let's look at it from the standpoint of connections. You'll build more connections with others that will see your talent and that actually want to hear your talent regardless of money. They want to know your advice. So how did you get so wise? Well, what did you do? I meditated constantly. I did what everyone else wasn't doing in meditation. I faced these certain areas of myself mentally, and that caused me to develop the certain skill set necessary in order to make my brain oscillate at certain resonances, moving my awareness down into the theta and the gamma states of the mind, bridging the gap from the waking state to the subconscious mind, thus me knowing exactly how my brain thinks and thus knowing how other people's brains think, developing certain abilities which made me see certain things within this reality, which gave me a different outlook on life, which changed my perspective on my situation, which made me feel better. How can you teach meditation if that's for you? You want to look at your skill set and then pair that with your drive to want to help people. Once you know those two things, you'll know exactly how to carry out your life purpose. Once you realize your drive, you instantly know what your life purpose is. Now it's just a case of knowing how to execute that form of expression, that need to help people. Okay? Now, if you're out there and you're saying, well, my life purpose isn't how to help people, it's just to make money, it's just to get cars, it's just to live life, well, then you're not looking at your life properly. You need to go into your life. You really need to look at the impact you're having on others, your purchases. Trust me, someone out there, no matter what they're doing, they're helping someone else, even if it's unintentional. Even if it's unintentional. The best teachers in life are those who don't know they're actually teaching anybody at all. So I'm Ryan JC, Ryan James Cripper. This is how to know your life purpose. I am living mine, and I can tell you for sure that once you just forget about how it's going to support you and you just do what feels good, you pick up something, everything else will iron itself out. So I'm Ryan JC, Ryan James Cripper. If you've liked anything that's been said within this video, then leave a thumbs up letting me know, and subscribe for more self-help videos like this in the near future. And I'll speak to you all pretty soon. Peace.